The narrow Republican majority in the House shrank even further on Tuesday when Democrats took back the seat that was held by disgraced ex-Congressman George Santos. The race turned in large part on immigration as Republicans plowed ahead with a pointless impeachment of the Homeland Security Secretary that they themselves admitted was just for PR. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. You guys remember George Santos? Congressman, alleged felon, Sephora Platinum member, Nobel laureate, Olympic gold medalist, Clark Kent having an allergic reaction, and Super Bowl MVP? Well, Tuesday was the special election to fill Santos's Long Island congressional seat, and voters in his district, where he won in 2022, had nothing but negative things to say about him.
One unifying issue in this divided district, Alicia, is George Santos, specifically a shared sense of embarrassment about the indicted and expelled former congressman who was elected here in 2022.
Of course, I hated DeSantos.
What do you think of George Santos?
No, I don't know.
Just no?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you happy he's out, that he was expelled?
Yes.
What do you think of George Santos?
Do I have to say?
Please.
It's an embarrassment, and I think he needs help because he's delusional.
And when a Long Islander says you're delusional, it stings because they're mostly Jets fans. It's a whole island of people who think you can dance to Billy Joel. But you can always count on Long Islanders to give you the unvarnished truth. That clip is exactly what it feels like to go to a Long Island Thanksgiving. Ma, I tried the stuffing a different way this year. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're delusional and you need help. Stuffing is no place for raisins. Also, I love this guy saying no to a question that isn't a yes or no question. It's such a devastating move. It's like an Olympic judge holding up a scorecard that says pass. The race to replace Santos is between Democratic candidate Tom Suozzi and Republican Mazi Pilip. Democrats were panicked going into this race because of Joe Biden's terrible poll numbers, and even Suozzi kept his distance from Biden.
The Democratic brand is in trouble here, and we have to do a lot to overcome that.
Well, what about Biden specifically?
Joe Biden is underwater here in my district, but so is Donald Trump. They're both very, very unpopular candidates.
Would you want to campaign with Biden?
I can pretty much guarantee that the president's not going to be coming to campaign here.
Don't you think the president, could be helpful in it if he came out here?
I don't think it would be helpful.
It's basically like he asked, Mr. Suozzi, tell me 5 things you like most about President Biden.
No.
The polls are bad for Biden right now, so much so that Democrats want him around as much as teens partying in the basement want to see their dad. Hey, you guys want some snacks? Stay away, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Come on, guys, you gotta have some snacks. Everybody wants to, what are some Werthers or some Cracker Jacks? We love crackers, you get a prize, every box, no joke, every box. Keychain or a Bazooka Joe comic. Never funny, Bazooka Joe, never made me laugh once. There was a guy in my own neighborhood. We called him Bazooka Joe. Because he wasn't funny either. Although, in fairness, why would Biden go to Long Island? It's an island of uncles. The only reason to go there are in the summer, like a party in the Hamptons, an Italian wedding, or a funeral for someone killed at an Italian wedding. Whenever you book a hotel for a Long Island wedding, you need to add 3 days in case there's a wake for the best man. Hey, we're here to celebrate the life of Angelo. He stepped out of line during his speech with some nasty jokes about my wife, so we had to swap his dress shoes for cement shoes, if you know what I mean. And then the Father, the Son, and the guy with the thing. For their part, Republicans in the district fully embraced Trump. Pilip said she supported him, invited him to the district, and dismissed the criminal charges against him as politically motivated.
He's welcome to help me. If he can come to help me, I will appreciate that. I will support
But if
Trump.
he's convicted, would you still support
Again,
him?
I said I don't want to answer on that, even if he was great president. He did great things.
Do you have the same concerns about his efforts to overturn the election, being charged?
I can't.
on this?
I know that he didn't commit any crime. They are politically motivated. As I said again, he's going through the process right now. This is, again, those are the same people who politically motivated trying to run after him. It is such a dangerous thing for our country. We have to stop it.
So she said all the charges were politically motivated, an argument that did not work, and here's why. Trump's been charged 91 times. If you're charged once or twice, maybe you could say it's politically motivated or you're wrongly accused, but not 91 times. It's like if you went on a date with someone who says they're divorced or twice divorced. You can think, yeah, maybe it just didn't work out with the previous ones. But if they got divorced 91 times, you'd run for your life. You wouldn't think maybe he got cheated on almost 100 times. It's really hard to imagine how you could possibly be more pro-Trump than that. And yet, as we've learned time and time again, no amount of loyalty is sufficient for Trump if he finds it convenient to dump you to the curb, which is what happened last night when Phillip lost. Trump claims she would have won if she'd been more loyal to him, although watch as the CNN reporter reading Trump's post tries to make sense of it in real time.
Well, just moments ago, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, and I'm going to read it in real time because I'm just now seeing it. I just watched this very foolish woman, Mazi Melissa Phillip, running in a race where she didn't endorse me and tried to straddle the fence when she would have easily won if she understood anything about modern-day politics in America. MAGA, which is most of the Republican Party, stayed home, and it will always, unless it is treated with the respect that it deserves. I stayed out of the race. I want to be loved, in quotes. I'm not sure what that "I want to be loved" in quotes is.
Maybe it's a desperate plea from a man bereft of human attention? Human affection on the eve of Valentine's Day? Am I the only one here who can tell when a person is hurting? I'm not saying Donald Trump never came home with Valentine's Day cards when he was little, because I'm sure he stole them from other kids and just changed the names. What I'm saying is, I want to be loved is the subtext of everything Trump has ever said or done. The only way it could be clearer is if he'd added "by my father" to the end of it. His campaign slogan might as well be Trump 2024, Daddy, watch me die. Also, just a reminder how different the two parties are right now. If Biden wrote on social media, "I want to be loved," every Democrat would lose their saying, "He's a sad old man." But Trump does it, and the entire Republican base is all, "He cool, like a teen." Now, Suozzi won in part because he was able to fend off attacks from Republicans over immigration by essentially claiming Democrats are the ones who will actually get tough on the border.
The biggest issue to watch in this race, Chris, is migration. You cannot turn on the TV without seeing a bombardment of ads from both campaigns on this issue. Republicans keep pounding Tom Suozzi on the air, trying to tie him to the left. He has rejected this, and he is taking this pretty seriously, countering, saying that he supports this bipartisan deal to toughen border and asylum laws. This is a fascinating early test of that Democratic argument to try to go on offense with the border.
Okay, but is it a good idea for Democrats to try to be tougher on immigration than Republicans? That's like announcing a new album on the same day as Beyonce, which I did, and I learned my lesson when not one person bought a copy of Sethasance, which I get. Even I don't like saying Sethasance. Dumb title, hard to say. I even did a Verizon commercial to promote it just like Beyonce, but instead of airing it during the Super Bowl, they aired mine during the World Curling Championship, which was on opposite of the Super Bowl. Thanks for nothing, ESPN minus. During the campaign, Suozzi said that if he got his way, most asylum seekers would be immediately removed from the country. Let me tell you something. If we did the bipartisan deal, we'd have a faster asylum adjudication process. 80% of them would have to go right away. You're talking about friends, neighbors, coworkers, families who just want a better life here. I could do a long, angry rant about the dangers of mimicking Republican cruelty on immigration and the necessity of a viable progressive movement to stand up for the internationally recognized human rights of asylum seekers. But I could also just respond to Suozzi with one word.
No.
The vast majority of migrants seeking asylum in this country are fleeing poverty and violence, and they deserve aid and compassion, not punishment. Maybe Democrats could talk up the positives of immigration. Just last week, the Congressional Budget Office reported that due largely to an unexpected surge in immigration, the U.S. economy will be about $7 trillion larger, and federal revenue is about $1 trillion bigger over 10 years. $1 trillion, that's almost as much money as Temu spent on Super Bowl ads. You guys, I know so much more about Temu than I did before the Super Bowl, and I still have no idea what the Temu does. Maybe the lesson Democrats should draw from the failed border compromise is that trying to meet Republicans halfway on immigration is pointless because they are not negotiating in good faith. Let's remember how this all started. Democrats wanted to pass aid for Ukraine. Republicans said they would only do it if the bill included a border crackdown. So Democrats agreed. They struck a deal that had some harsh asylum restrictions in it. And then Trump realized he wouldn't be able to use the border as a campaign issue anymore. So he told Republicans to kill the deal they insisted on, and that's exactly what they did. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, who negotiated the compromise with Republicans, said, "They told us what to do, we followed their instructions to the letter, and then they pulled the rug out from under us in 24 hours. Let me crack the Republican code for you. It's a trick. Everything's a trick. The Republican Party is your wife saying she doesn't need anything for Valentine's Day. Every time she says that, you call the florist and you double the order if you value your life. These people are not serious. Yesterday, they rammed through a pointless impeachment of the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas without any evidence of wrongdoing. In fact, one GOP congressman admitted on Fox that the impeachment vote was just a PR move for Republicans.
The president could take executive action to do it today. It doesn't need more money. It needs action. And this is what's disappointing to people, and that's why Mayorkas is going to pay this public relations price by being impeached.
Impeachment is not a public relations tool. You're supposed to be a lawmaker. If you want to do PR, then you should join Timu because they need the help. I keep getting Timu confused with the Limu Emu. It's starting to feel like a Jerry Seinfeld stand-up routine. There's too many commercials. I can't keep track. Timu, Limu, Emu, F you. The House GOP. I am better than Seinfeld. The House GOP is even smaller now because the Trump brand is toxic in swing districts. It's not a serious governing party, so maybe instead of parroting GOP talking points on immigration, Democrats could make a positive, progressive case for why we should protect and stand up for asylum seekers. And next time Republicans claim they want to work out an immigration compromise, don't fall for it. Just say,
No.
This has been A Closer Look. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching A Closer Look. And as a reminder, my brother Josh and I have started a new podcast called Family Trips with the Myers Brothers. We hope you listen. We hope you like it. And see you soon.